So I have spanked my kids. I can, because I was raised that way or what have you. And I see how it can sometimes benefit because of what you were talking about. Like sometimes you just need to, but at the end of the day, I realized I'm more likely to spank when I'm at the end of my rope. And it might have nothing to do with them.
Yep. Hey, Mom. What's up? 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 Hey, Mom. What's up?
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Welcome back to another episode of Moms Actually, where motherhood
meets sisterhood.
Today we are talking about a topic that gets the people going. Yes. Discipline.
Woo, that is the buzzword of the social mom community. I tell you what.
I'm already worried I'm going to get in trouble.
I know. I'm not ready. So let's just jump right into It's Giving Motherhood. You guys know the drill. Pick up your paddles. Gold means yes. White means no. First answer is the right answer. Okay? So let's do this.
Don't judge us.
Yeah, yes. Please don't judge us, y'all. This is a judgment-free zone, okay? All right, you ready? Are you the gentle parent? I'm gonna go ahead and actually,
Definitely.
Yes, between the two. Are you the authoritarian parent? I'm gonna go in the middle. Do you feel spanking works? It did for me. Have you ever spanked your kids? Yep. Yes. Did you grow up being spanked? Sure did. Yes. Would you consider yourself the strict parent? Do you discipline similar to how you were disciplined? Ooh.
Definitely not.
Do you let your kids make their own rules and boundaries? Do you feel spanking can cause long-term harm? I'm gonna go in the middle there. Is gentle parenting setting kids up for failure when it comes to the real world?
I said no if you know what gentle parenting actually is.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what does gentle parenting mean to you then?
When we were getting ready for this, I looked it up. Actually, I looked up more permissive parenting, and that's what people confuse it with, is that permissive parenting is basically your kid can do whatever they want, and you're just like, okay, Johnny, you can walk all over me and do what you want. Gentle parenting is just basically about patience and conversation and negotiation. And basically, I wouldn't, if you did something wrong, I wouldn't just turn you around and start spanking you. I would let you know how I felt about it. We would discuss it or what have you. And there would still be repercussions of some sort for what you did, so you can know not to do that again. But there's a discussion about it. But it's not walk all over me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree. I think for me, when you hear the word gentle parenting, and I've seen so many like videos and, you know, articles and things like that on it, I do see people that are like, well, you know, if he doesn't want to go to his room right now, then he doesn't have to. Or, you know,
ask permission before you change your baby's diaper.
Yeah, like whose rules, whose house is this? This is my house. Why are we doing this? I'm not having conversations like that with my child. I'm just not. So I feel like for me, I would definitely say I like to do the mix. I call myself the balanced parent because I need both. I need a both. And what I will say is I would consider myself the more gentle parent between me and my husband. My husband is like, when we play good cop, bad cop, he's definitely always the bad cop. Okay. I'm the good cop. I have more grace and like, I'm more like communication, whereas he's like very, very strict. Like he's ready to, he's ready to be like, who you talking to? What do you, what'd you say? Huh? If you go home, you can hear it. Like, he's like very, very, so like, he's very much like that. So I try to balance it out. Yes. And what we have noticed is our kids, it's only taken one time for me to really like cock back and be like, look, don't do that. I mean, look, but no, and I
thought I was the only one that spanked my kid. I thought I was gonna be up here alone. Like,
no, I definitely, I have 3 children, and 1, 2, and 3 have been hit by me. And it just, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's, again, no judgment zone. I've never gone like overboard because I have been like, my parents, especially my father, he went overboard a lot of the times with me growing up. So I never go that far, but I will say because my kids are so smart, they laugh They laugh when I try to do the whole like, all right, what did you say? You know, do all that stuff. They think it's hilarious. Yeah. So there have been times where I'm like, you're not going to get it until I really show you. Yeah. Then once we get serious, now it's just more of a communication thing because they respect us so much and they don't want to disappoint us.
You have to get them in the place.
Yeah.
You have to get them.
But it took time. That's what I said. That one little pop.
Yeah. Which parent are you? Good cop, bad cop? Well, it looked like good cop.
I'm a gentle parent for sure. But I think my husband is definitely the one that is very stern with the kids and disciplines more. But that's how he grew up. Okay. His parents were the same way. So because that's all he knows, he goes that route. Right. Me, I literally had no discipline in my household. Oh, wow. And so I literally was on the streets. My mom worked a lot. She was a single mom. And so I was just out with my friends all the time. Midnight, on a school day, hiding from the police, like literally, because in Chicago you have traffic. I mean, not traffic. You have what they call curfew. Okay. And if you see a police, you just duck behind a car.
Okay. See, I'm glad you clarified. Yeah, I was like, what you hiding from the police from? We was about to learn more about Sola today. We're gonna change the subject.
But like, I literally had no one telling me what to do. And so for me, I wanted to have that for my kids, like a gentle parenting role. And so that's what I do for them. And so I think that goes into like me and my husband having a little tension when it comes to discipline. So,
because you're looking at him like, why did you do that? Yes, there have been times where I'm like, why did you go that hard? Like, even just because Rivers has a very, very loud voice.
That's what I was gonna say.
And it can be scary sometimes. Like, it startles them. Like, there have been times where his voice just startles them so much that they just like break out in tears. So that I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So
my child can do something totally wrong, which I would rip into them for, but then my husband does. I'm like,
yes, yes. No, seriously. When it comes to gentle parenting, do you feel like it's something that is a long-term, like it's working for you? Because even with us saying the whole, like, making it hard for the adult world. Because sometimes I feel like even I've seen people that say, I don't make my kids speak to the adults. Yeah. Because if they don't, like it should be their choice to speak. I'm like,
well, not speak, but my thing is hugging or kissing.
Hugging, that's one thing.
But no, speaking, but I have heard of that. Like,
I've seen
they should get to choose. So for me, I think long term, okay, so I have spanked my kids. I can, because I was raised that way or what have you. And I see how it can sometimes benefit because of what you were talking about. Like sometimes you just need to, but at the end of the day, I realized I'm more likely to spank when I'm at the end of my rope. And it might have nothing to do with them. Yep. And that's not fair. And that's why I'm trying to like stop it, or not even like, because sometimes it's even, I know I don't want to pop them or I'm not going to, but I'm like, do you want to pop? And I don't want them to do stuff out of fear. I did a lot of stuff because I didn't want to, like, I was just scared. It wasn't about making the right decision. I was just scared. So I didn't really learn why I was doing something or not. Yeah. But I realized it just had to do with how I was feeling than what they were doing. They could do something totally wrong on a Tuesday, but I'm having a good day and I'm relaxed, and they could do the same thing on a Thursday and they can get a different, and I don't think that's fair. Yeah, and that's why I try to gentle parent. It's because I just feel like I'm not doing it from the authoritative parenting from the right mindset sometimes. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense.
I think for me, gentle parenting is like very, very important for my family because like the emotions that come from like trying to communicate with a little kid, like they just don't know how they're feeling sometimes. And so for me, to be able to like, instead of yelling at my son or my husband, like getting so frustrated, I literally sit my son down. We look at each other. I let him try to communicate. Like, how are you feeling? Yeah. Are you sad? Are you mad? Sometimes he'd be like, no. And I'm like, well, what are you feeling? Yeah. And then we kind of walk through that. And then if he's crying, I have him breathe. I'm like, just take a deep breath. And then I'll like breathe in his face. And I'm like, you breathe in my face now. And then it just literally changes the whole demeanor for both of us. Cause sometimes like when I feel like I'm like overwhelmed, it helps me to calm down as well. Yeah. So gentle parenting, I think it works long term. If you can figure out what works best for you.
It gives them the tools to calm down. Like my daughter will tell me like, I'm trying to calm down. I'm trying, like when she gets upset or what have you. Or if I'm like, upset and I'm yelling, she'll tell me she's scared. Like she'll tell me how she, oh God, that breaks my heart. It makes me like, she'll tell me, but she's learning to communicate through it because at the times that I am good at it, I always tell her, you know, speak to me, tell me what you're feeling. So she's able to tell me, you're scaring me right now. Or, you know, I hate thinking about, you know.
Wow. Oh gosh. Tears again. Tears.
But, you know, it's hard because you're trying to raise them to be great people. Yeah. And you don't want to get it wrong. You don't want to go it's like you're just navigating this road that has no direction. So you're trying to figure it out. So you go into it with one goal. It's just sometimes you go about it, you know, the wrong way or the right way, but you don't know until they're fully cooked.
Yeah. I think that that's such a good point because it goes to you even, I think it triggered because you think about the inner you, like that inner child. And like whenever I think about my inner child and like the things that I need to heal, I do think about that abusive part where I was like, and I didn't realize it until I got older. Yeah. Like I knew it sucked. Yeah. Let's be clear.
Like, that's not normal.
I knew it was bad. I didn't realize how bad until I got like older and I would like have flashbacks of things and I was like, oh my gosh, I probably need to go sit on somebody's couch. Like seriously. And you know, and we don't want to do that to our children. What is very unfortunate is we are in a world where people are so judgmental of how you choose to parent and we're still trying to figure it out. That's why I say I'm the balanced parent because I do take some of the, you know, traditional roles, you know, that we do. And, you know, it's traumatic, some of it, but I do take some of those standards while trying to incorporate, okay, I want to get down to your level. I want to talk to you better. You know, I think they're so small. Yeah. And they're very fragile.
And it's not fair that just because, and this is where it's like, I guess I get a little gentle or woke or whatever, but it's like these little tiny, and it's just because they're tiny that we feel like we can spank them or we feel like we can yell at them. Because again, if a grown man or you would never talk to them the same way. You just wouldn't. Yeah. And I get that you have to get them to understand, but how do we get there? Yeah, how do you get there without taking advantage of just the fact that they're small, that you get to treat them that way? Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Like I don't want
while their brains are forming.
Every time I come, like, whoa, that's intense.
Yeah, that's
now I will say my daughter, my first child, she was just so daggone dramatic. I'm like, do not do that. You're making it seem like I abuse you.
Can't take you nowhere.
Yeah, I can't take you nowhere. You gotta have people calling the CPS on me. But no, I feel like that means so much to just make sure that we are being mindful of how we look at others, how, you know, like how we kind of judge other moms and what they're doing because it's a daily walk. It really is. And then when the children have their phases, like you think you've gotten them to the certain point where you're like, okay, we're good. And then all of a sudden they wake up and it's a whole new child. I'm like, who are you?
It's like, I just trained the other one.
Like, go back to bed. Come again.
When my son turned 3, I don't know what happened. Yeah. He was so sweet.
It's not the terrible 2s, it's the terrible 3s.
It's the 3s.
Well, for my son, it might have been the 2s. Noble was definitely the 3s.
It was the 3. Mm-hmm. Me and him.
Y'all figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. Yeah. Yes, because he tries me a lot.
Really?
Yes.
Because they go through all these brain changes. Like there's literally a phase where they test boundaries, like purposefully. And, you know, but it's because you're a safe space to do it. It's like how your kids like act up and cry around you and then they with grandma or strangers and they're like, your baby cries? Like, no, he doesn't. No, she doesn't. But it's like, it's a safe space to cry them. It's a safe space to test boundaries in because they know they're going to land well, you know, even if you do have a bad day.
Yeah.
So.
I have a question. What's too old?
Oh, for spanking.
Yeah. Like what's too old to like get popped?
I I'm trying to think how old
I don't know
I
about
was.
pops. Spanked is different.
Yeah, I say pop. I probably am spanking sometimes. But
What's the difference? What would you
pop
say?
is like a swat.
No, mine is like a thump.
Oh, that's a thump.
That is a pop. Like I'm gonna pop you in your mouth.
That's a
like a little pluck.
That's
like
a
a
pluck.
pop.
That's a pluck. A pop is
Never
like.
heard of a pluck before.
Webster, we need you.
Tell us what a pop is.
Yes,
How about
please,
that?
please
What
put
do
it
you
in the
guys
Maybe
think
it's
a
a
pop
Chicago
is?
thing. I don't know. I never heard of
that's
pluck.
soda.
No, but seriously, what's too old?
What do you think?
I got babies. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my oldest is 10. I would never.
don't know.
I would never hit her at this point.
Yeah.
I would never hit her. Like at this point,
I feel like that's a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like
that's what I'm saying.
like
At
10 is
this
a
point,
fight.
I think there's a break, and like now. If she come, like, I could see
Y'all throwing
her,
hands.
like her in her high school years, and she just say something crazy, and I'm like, oh, I gotta remind you who I am, like that type of thing. Like we here to here.
Yeah.
But I cannot imagine.
I don't know, because mine are still young. And like I said, I'm already trying to, at least for me, phase it out because I realize it's too based on my emotions.
Yeah.
Like I realize it's based on like history and emotions and not necessarily on a conscious decision that this is an appropriate an appropriate form of discipline.
I like that you said that though, because it does bring up a point of just the awareness of the parent. Like, and y'all know I'm a huge, huge self-care advocate, and I'm always talking about just making sure we refill our cup. And you touched on it a bit, but I think it really does play into the discipline because of the fact that I usually have to, I've learned to pause before I like react to my kids, because I literally will say, okay, are you upset right now because of whatever happened in your day and what's going on? Or are you upset right now because they're really bugging? Also, why are you saying no? A lot of times I say no to my kids for no reason. So then I have to pause there too, because I'm like, they are reaping the repercussions of me just being annoyed, me not filling my cup like I'm supposed to. And that plays a role. Would you say that?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Do you say no sometimes just
All the time. I feel like probably too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm working on it because Noble will tell everybody. My mommy always says no and daddy always says yes. Like she was telling her cousins that. Yeah, they tell you everything. She was telling her cousins that. They were like, Noble's saying you always say no. I'm like, well, I do. And I have to think about that now. Like why am I saying no? Like, is it a big deal? Because I also don't want to create I remember my parents were very strict about how I made my chocolate milk. This is a weird story, but I can only have like 2 scoops of powder. So the one time I could make my own chocolate milk, I put like 8 scoops of powder in it. It was disgusting, But it's like you go overboard when you have too many restrictions in your life. And I don't want them to like have such restrictions like I did. And I went overboard in areas of my life that you just all of a sudden are making all these bad choices because you never really had a chance to figure things out. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have a whole pack of Lifesavers or something like that because my teeth feel disgusting now, So.
But that's a good point too, even just the how you grew up and how much that, because I think that can go either way. Like if I'm scarred, then I might be too lenient, trying to not traumatize my kids, or I can go the other route of I had too much freedom or whatever, and I don't want my kids. I didn't know how to discipline, so now I'm just
and you had all the freedom. So how did that impact how you do things now?
You came out good, girl.
Yeah, you did.
Thank you. I feel like I still struggle with that daily, like trying to find a balance of like, am I being too lenient because like I don't want them to feel how I felt when I was growing up with like a lot of trauma. Like I don't want to traumatize my kids, but I also want to be able to know like I am the parent in this household. And so that's something that I'm still trying to work through, but I don't know. They don't have a lot of freedom like I had. Obviously they're still babies, but there is definitely like a fine line that they know like we are the parents. So
I always hear that people who had a lot of freedom growing up, again, which I did not, wish they actually did have boundaries. And rules,
I would have probably been more disciplined in life.
You seem very disciplined.
I am now, but like
you had to get
in
that
high
later.
school,
It's the roles of like, because for me, I ended up having, because I'm the oldest, I had freedom-ish, but a lot of it also was me having to be the the parent for my younger sister. So that to me also made a big difference too.
For sure.
I would say.
Yeah.
And you're the only child.
Just me. Yeah, it was just me. But I was.
So you're just figuring it out truly as you go.
But my parents, again, were military. So I had clear boundaries, clear, like, we don't talk during this time. If you're with adults, like, there was never any question of what I could or could not do. So life was pretty easy for me. It was very hard to get in trouble unless I was working to get in trouble because I knew the rules. But again, because I lived such a, like, sheltered and like buttoned up life, it made me, like, when I did get freedom, make terrible choices because I didn't get to make choices in day-to-day life and see consequences for them, you know?
I see. So you're like learning a lot of things in adulthood.
Because you're very sheltered, So then once you get free, it's like, oh, well, let me try everything now. And I think you are supposed to make some mistakes, you know, in your teens, in high school, in college. You're supposed to, but you know, otherwise they come out sometime usually.
Yeah. Me and my husband kind of like, we joke about it all the time. Like, we're like, what's, you know, such and such. We kind of pick which kid is going to come home. And because it's like, I think it's also good to expect it.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to know who your children are.
Yeah. Like, just expect it. Like, expect it to come in the household, like, you know, and then how do we deal with it? Because I think that's the preparation of how you're going to deal with it. You kind of mentioned, like, being on the same page when it comes to discipline. Like, if you're already on that same page of, okay, if this happens, what are we gonna do? Because you don't want your kids and the discipline to come in between.
But one good thing that helped me, I can't remember what pastor said it, I'll find it and drop it in the comments, but they told their child, I don't expect you to be perfect. I think a lot of times we like create this space for, don't get this wrong. Oh, you're going to be good and everything. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get it wrong. You're going to fail. You're going to make terrible decisions. Just tell me. Just tell me, because I've either done it, know someone who's done it. There's nothing you can do to disappoint me. And just talk to me about it. But my thing is, I was always trying to be perfect and I didn't want to let my parents down. And so when I did, I didn't talk to them. So sometimes you make it worse or you get advice from your friends.
And they don't know. Blind leading the blind.
So I just want my kids to know it's okay to screw up. But let's talk about it or talk to me so we can fix it together.
So is it safe to say that we all technically are gentle parents?
I'm balanced.
I'm a balanced.
I'm balanced.
I'm gentle.
I'm balanced, but I'm leaning more into my gentle. Yes.
I'm gonna stick with my balance. I'm a balanced parent, because I definitely get, you know, I'd grind the teeth and talk to you.
I have my days, but mostly gentle.
Mostly gentle. I'm gonna come to your house and take a little lesson. Do we have a letter?
We have a letter. If you have any questions, need any advice, email us at heyma@momsactually.com. and we will make sure to give you some answers. Or if we don't know the answer, we will crowdsource. We'll get you an answer.
We will get you the answer.
Okay, so today we have a question from one of our mamas. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hey, Ma, I need some advice. I have a 3-year-old and a newborn. God bless you. My toddler is definitely starting to experience the terrible threes.
That's crazy.
I was raised very traditional, and spared the rod, spoil the child was the mantra in my household. While I do not take it overboard, I would consider myself the more strict parent. However, it seems when I discipline my child, I get shamed for popping him on the leg or even raising my voice by my mom friends who take the more gentle route. I personally don't feel the need to take their advice as their kids seemingly run all over them. However, I do not want to feel like I'm abusing my child or that I'm a bad parent because I choose to spank. Are there any tips on what I should do or how I can communicate to my friends, not to her child, to her friends, that when it comes to how I can communicate to my friends when it comes to discipline? I do not want their advice. Nor do I want to feel ashamed for how I choose to discipline my child. Mind your business, friends.
Right.
Mind your business.
I would just really just say that. Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Keep me looking good.
Yes.
Thank you. So I would really just tell them that, or if she's talking to her friend, that this is how I run my household, and it's okay if we parent differently. And you just keep it at that. You don't really need to go into something deep and explain yourself or try to validate how you parent your kids. Because at the end of the day, those are your kids. And if you want to raise them that way, where you spank them, go ahead. If you want to just sit there and talk to them and talk them through it, then go ahead.
Yeah.
So that's all that
Yeah,
like.
I would say what you said. Like it's about just respecting. Like there has to be a respect, and I think while us moms, we love to like give our opinions and we love to have,
I love unsolicited
right,
advice. I work at it.
Technically right now.
Yes.
I mean, this is solicited, she wrote in, but you know, we love to give our opinions, and sometimes we do it so much and so passively that we don't realize that we are passively judging, passively mom shaming. Like we don't try, but it happens. And so I would say first, you know, maybe even give your mom friends some grace, because they're probably not trying to, you know, judge you, or they're probably not trying to even offend you, and they think their way is the right way, and maybe it is for their household. But I would agree with you, like, hey, you know, it can be a simple conversation, and we could still go to brunch together and all the things. It doesn't need to be a lot. Just like, hey, this is how I choose to you know, pop John, and that's gonna be it. You know,
like you know, if you see me, you know, if you see us tussling, fighting, okay, but otherwise,
right. And maybe even it's a thing of, if you guys are all together, when it is time to discipline, maybe like take the child away, so that it's not a scene. Because sometimes that makes it even worse.
It can be uncomfortable because there's so
it's
much.
like a display. And so making it so that, hey, you know, if we're all in the living room having a good time or whatever, and we're on a play date, maybe you're taking that child to the bathroom and we're having a conversation that, you know, it's a thing. And you say, hey, you know, Jonathan's crying right now. He's gonna be all right. He's gonna sit over there in the timeout, and then he gonna be better, you know? So I feel like that could also help too. That way you don't even have to deal with the looks and the side eyes and the comments, because you've done that in private.
Yes. And just be honest, you're making me feel like a bad parent. You keep saying this to me, or I've heard it several times, like, I just don't need to hear that. I'm trying my best, and I know you have my best interest in mind, but I don't feel good by what you're saying.
That's good.
I just gave birth. I don't feel good.
Yeah, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And again, like, we want to support each other. So a mom saying that to another mom, that would break my heart. I'd be like, oh girl, I'm so sorry. Like, I did not mean to make you, that was not the goal. You know, like, impact means everything, over intent. So I think that we got your girl covered. You know, I hope you enjoyed this episode, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Are you the gentle parent? You the balanced parent? What are you? Put it down in the comments below. Make sure you tune in to next week's episode. As always, thanks so much for watching Moms Actually, where motherhood meets
sisterhood.
Yes. See y'all next week.
What's up?
Hey mom.
What's up?
Hey mom.
Hey mom.
What's up?
Hey mom.
What's up?